on one of the most famous squares in all of Europe, Dam Square in Amsterdam. But beyond all the crowds and the grand buildings, there's an incredible story that's literally built into the ground we're standing on. So, let's peel back the layers and see what's hiding beneath the stones.
I mean, just look at it. Every single day, thousands and thousands of people walk right across this square. But how many of them, you think, have any idea they're walking over a medieval dam, a site of unbelievable wealth, a stage for a horrific tragedy, and even a battleground for culture? Well, we're about to find out.
So here's the plan. We'll start with the dam square you see today, and then we're going to travel back more than 750 years to see how it was created. We'll check out the rise of an incredible Golden Age palace, confront a really dark chapter of violence, and then see how the square is still Amsterdam's living, breathing stage.
Okay, so before we jump in our time machine, let's just ground ourselves in the here and now. What is this square like on any given day?
It really is the city's central meeting point, just buzzing with energy. And you can see these three huge buildings here. They're basically the anchors of our whole story. You've got the Royal Palace, the New Church, or Nieuwe Kerk, and that tall white pillar, the National Monument. Each one marks a totally different chapter in the history of the square, and really, the history of the Netherlands itself. But to really get what these landmarks are all about, we've got to go back, way back. We need to understand how this space even came to exist. And believe it or not, it all starts with a river.
And the biggest clue? Well, it's hiding in plain sight, right there in the city's name, Amstel River. This square isn't just on a dam, it is the original dam. It was built way back in the 13th century, right across the Amstel River. It was a crucial piece of engineering that kept the little settlement from flooding, and, for the first time, connected the two sides of the river. And what's amazing is just how quickly this practical piece of engineering became the absolute heart of the city. By 1408, you've got the Nieuwe Kerk going up right beside it. And then by 1655, right in the middle of the Dutch Golden Age, it became home to one of the most magnificent buildings in Europe. A building that was meant to send a message to the entire world. And we are talking about the building that completely dominates the square today, what we now know as the Royal Palace. But here's the crazy part. When it was built, it wasn't for a king at all. Now, this was Amsterdam's City Hall, and at the time it was the largest secular, that is, non-religious, building in all of Europe. The sheer size and grandeur of it was a statement. In an age of powerful monarchies, this building basically shouted that the real power here belonged to the citizens and merchants of the Dutch Republic. People were so impressed they actually called it the eighth wonder of the world. And this huge ambition was literally written on the floor. Inside the main Citizens' Hall, they inlaid these massive, beautiful marble maps of the cosmos right into the ground. So as you walked across them, the message was impossible to miss. Amsterdam saw itself as the center of the entire universe. This incredible vision was brought to life by the Flemish master sculptor artist Quellinus. For almost 15 years, he and his whole workshop worked non-stop, taking these small terracotta models, like the one you see here, and turning them into these breathtakingly detailed marble sculptures that you can still see in the palace today. It's just a testament to the city's incredible wealth and confidence. But a stage that has been around for this long has also witnessed the city's darkest moments. The square holds some deep scars, and none are deeper than the ones from the very last days of World War II. I want you to just picture the scene. It's May 7th, 1945. The war is officially over. The country is free. Thousands of people are pouring into Dam Square, just overcome with joy, waiting for the Canadian troops to arrive. The feeling in the air is absolute euphoria. And then, the unthinkable. From the balcony of a building on the corner, German soldiers who hadn't yet been disarmed aimed machine guns into the celebrating crowd and just opened fire. For 2 hours, that celebration turned into a nightmare. People were scrambling for their lives, trying to hide behind anything they could find. When the shooting finally stopped, the party had become a massacre. 32 people were dead, killed in the very moment they thought they had finally found freedom. To even begin to process that kind of trauma and to honor everyone lost in the war, the Netherlands transformed the square. In 1956, this huge white pillar, the National Monument, was built. It forever changed the feeling of the dam, making it the nation's most important place for remembrance. And if you look closely, the monument tells a whole story in stone. You've got figures that represent the two sides of the Dutch resistance, the thinkers and the workers. The men in chains symbolize the suffering the country went through. But then, above them, there's a woman with a child for victory and new life, and doves flying up to represent freedom.
And it's from that solemn moment of remembrance that the square's modern story really kicks off. A story of constant reinvention, where it seems like every new generation claims this space as its own stage.
And this contrast is just perfect for showing what the modern square is all about. Back in 1970, it was the absolute epicenter of the counterculture. You had hippies, they called them dam slappers, camping out at the monument, which caused a huge national debate. And now, that exact same space is ground zero for official celebrations, from the giant orange party on King's Day to the city's huge 750th birthday bash.
And that really tells you everything, right? The square isn't some static, dusty old museum. It's always looking forward. In fact, they recently buried a time capsule right here. It's a message from our time that's scheduled to be opened in 2075 for Amsterdam's 800th anniversary. So when you think about it, from a simple dam and a river to the heart of a global empire, from a place of unimaginable tragedy to a stage for a nationwide party, Dam Square has reflected every single chapter of Amsterdam's story. It just makes you wonder, what moments are still waiting to be written on these stones?